Just a few weeks ago, on March 25th, we joined with our Holy Father, Pope Francis, and tens and millions of people around the world as he consecrated Russia and Ukraine to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. Of course, that was 9 months before Christmas, the Solemnity of the Annunciation it was, when the angel announced that Mary would receive God in her own body and give flesh to him. Now, in the silence of Good Friday, our minds and hearts are brought to Golgotha and the foot of the cross. And in the end, we see the Mother of God again. This time, she receives her divine Son as he is taken down from the cross and placed in her maternal arms. The pitiful portrait of Mother and Son, the Pietà, proclaims to the world that nothing is impossible with God. Nothing. Such a heart-wrenching scene of the Madonna and Child taken down from the cross testifies to the truth that the one answer to death, the one answer to despair, is true and deep union with Christ. Death does not separate us from union with Christ. We're told that he did not leave his body or soul in death, the Catechism teaches us, and nor does he leave us in death either. Even in the difficult shadow of the cross, the power of the Most High continues to overshadow the Blessed Virgin Mary. In her maternal arms, the Mother of God cradles all of our failures and desperation, our isolation, our alienation, our regrets, our remorse, our sorrow, our suffering, our nothingness, our desolation, our defeat, even the terrible pandemic that we've been encountering this past couple years. She likewise cradles this tragic situation in the Ukraine, as well as any other personal loss or challenge that any of us may be facing at this time, whether in our families, our friends, or personally. Any and all of it, our dear Blessed Mother carries in her arms. It's probably at these two moments of her life that she was most perfect in her sublime faith. At the Annunciation, the joyful beginning, the preparation for God to enter the world, and at the foot of the cross, as she embraces her crucified Son in her maternal arms. Indeed, nothing gives glory to the Father like this type of unshakable faith. Faith so joyfully celebrated at the Annunciation, and faith so solid and steadfast, even in the face of the drama of Calvary. My brothers and sisters in the Lord, our prayer for this Good Friday, as everything must have seemed so hopeless, empty, and confusing to Jesus' disciples in his day, and as we face the challenging times in our world, yes, our prayer might well be that Mary obtain for us this beautiful grace of perfect faith like hers, whether in joyful moments of life or even in moments of suffering and loss that we face. How our world needs to see this type of faith right now. I certainly want to tell you how grateful I am for your witness to this type of faith here in Metuchen. As your bishop, I have such a privileged spot to see and witness your faith in action, even during these challenging years when our faith has been tried by this pandemic or other things that have happened. And I'm certainly inspired by it, your perseverance. So I certainly thank you. Thank you for your perseverance in the practice of the faith. God is calling us to something. He's calling us to something on this Good Friday, even in the midst of this pandemic and the tragic and unjust war in the Ukraine, and through any personal challenge or loss that we may be facing or our families. God has not forgotten us, huh? God has not forgotten us. Just as he stayed with Jesus and the Blessed Mother throughout the drama of Calvary, so he stays with us, always. He can and will build us up in faith and virtue if we open ourselves more fully to him, so we can be the disciples in our world that he calls us to be and so needs us to be. It's such a beautiful thing that God chooses to depend on us, to make him present in the world by our actions, by our speech, by our love. It's the privilege and the responsibility of being his disciples. Yes, God desires us, and he wants us to witness to his faith and his mercy, so that others can still see the work of God being done, even when things don't seem like God is in control. Yet how our world needs this, and our church needs this witness, to have a fire lit in the heart of our church. That's up to us, Jesus' disciples in 2022, right here in Metuchen. I'm so glad to be in this together with you on this Good Friday. My brothers and sisters in Christ, the Triduum is just what we need to assist us in further attaining even more perfect faith. Faith like our dear Blessed Mothers. Good Friday reminds us of God's fidelity. He's always faithful to us, even when it looks like things aren't in his hands. Good Friday teaches us otherwise. And Mary shows us the way that we are to respond in faith, May our faith be strengthened in our church too, and our families, towns, state, country, and our whole world be made over in the image that God desires and created it to be. Indeed, this is the gift of Good Friday for us, So may it be. May our faith increase and grow stronger. We adore you, O Christ, and we praise you, because by your holy cross you have redeemed the world.